Tonight's match is brought to you by the Hospitals of Providence, providing safe care 24/7 because emergencies can't wait. Welcome to the pre-match show presented by Brian Bird's home selling team. Score.
In just a few moments, El Paso Locomotive FC takes on Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC.
Tonight's match is brought to you by the Hospitals of Providence, providing safe care 24/7 because emergencies can't wait. Your safe care is our priority. To learn more, visit thehospitalsofprovidence.com. Welcome to the pre-match show presented by Brian Bird's home selling team. Score the best deal on a home with the Brian Bird's home selling team. Visit ChucoRealtor.com or call 915-751-1500.
In just a few moments, El Paso Locomotive FC takes on Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC, presented by the Hospitals of Providence. But first, let's take a quick look behind the scenes brought to you by GECU. It's Locomotive players making their way into the stadium. Big wins in their last 3 matches. Locos coming in with a ton of confidence and looking great in these fire fits. It's Group C action, and it's headed your way next. Welcome to the Brian Bird's home selling team pregame show. I am Duke Keith, joined by my socially distant partner, Michael Balogun. And Michael, 3 consecutive wins, unbeaten in their last 6. Locomotive FC really playing some good soccer with a lot of momentum.
Yeah, they come in with excellent form with back-to-back wins against New Mexico United, who they're battling for first place in Group C, and San Antonio FC, a team that's been undefeated in all of 2020. So they're very confident coming to this game with a lot of confidence. However, tonight they play Colorado Springs, who's battling for their life, who's battling for survival in Group C. They need a win tonight. If El Paso is able to get a win tonight, they extend that winning streak to 7 games and go into #1 spot in Group C. And speaking of the unbeaten form, they have found goals late in games. Against Real Salt Lake, it was in the 86th minute. Brian Rabbayon, a curler into the back post, a great goal. Then against New Mexico United, it was Omar Salgado with a run down the line, a late pass into Mirris for the goal. And then last Saturday, it was the own goal by Mitchell Taylor that got them the win. So they've been able to find goals late in the game, and they're going to look to extend that form tonight against Colorado.
And those matches have definitely been exciting. Let's take a look at the standings, and it is good news for El Paso. With a win tonight, El Paso would be a point ahead in Group C and in sole possession of first place. But more good news. If El Paso wins and Real Monarchs SLC loses or gets a draw later this evening, Locomotive clinches a playoff berth. Definitely a good spot to be in if you're El Paso, but the Locos cannot get too crazy because there is business to be done first. Remember, in group play, teams play each other 4 times. El Paso beat Colorado Springs 4-2, played to a draw on the road, but here is a team in Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC that actually has a better passing percentage than El Paso, and Michael, that can't be overlooked.
Yeah, there definitely can't be overlooked. We talked about how they're fighting for their life. They're fighting for survival in Group C. So tonight's going to be a big game for Colorado, but it's also a big game for El Paso. If they can secure a win tonight, then they go into the #1 spot in Group C, and they clinch a spot in the playoffs. So they're definitely going to be coming out with a lot of energy and really excited for tonight.
A lot to play for this evening for both sides. That's going to do it for the Brian Bird's home selling team pregame show. Back with the starting lineups right after this.
Thank you for watching the pre-match show presented by Brian Bird's Home Selling Team. Score the best deal on a home with Brian Bird's Home Selling Team. Visit ChucoRealtor.com or call 915-751-1500.
Given the challenges we're facing today, we're seeing patients who are waiting too long to seek care.
By delaying care, you might be jeopardizing your health.
Emergencies can't wait. Don't delay your care.
You may think your chest pain is just heartburn, but it could be more serious. Don't delay.
Don't put yourself or your loved ones at risk. Don't delay.
We are taking extra precautions for your safety. There's no reason to stay away. Don't delay.
All of our emergency rooms throughout El Paso are here to care for you.
Don't delay.
Don't delay. Don't delay.
Show your home some love with the GECU Home Improvement Loan and get a $100 gift card. Apply now.
Over the years, we've had good times and great deals at Casa Ford, and we've always stood by El Paso.
From summer barbecues to the holidays, you'll always catch a great deal from our big selection and save on your new Ford. Get a 2020 F-150 with 0% APR for 72 months, or get $9,000 off MSRP. You choose, you save.
Come see us at El Paso's #1 Ford dealer.
Casa Ford, Casa Ford.
Casa Ford, home of the nice guys. Yeah!
Welcome, everybody, to Southwest University Park. Duke, Keith, Michael Balogun with you. Let's take a quick look at tonight's starting lineups. First, for the visitor, for the home team of the Southwest University starting lineups for Locomotive FC. And it will be Richie Ryan in there for Yuma tonight. But you see the number 6. He is a real key, and some interesting starters up front, Michael.
Yeah, definitely. We get to see Carrillo get his first start for the Locomotive tonight, alongside Saeed Robinson, who's not a regular starter, however, has started several games this year and will look to do the job tonight.
For Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC, playing for its playoff life, this is a team that is second in the USL Championship in passing percentage. And as you might imagine, Mr. Burt, Argueta, all of these guys, Labisi, they're all there. These are the stars of the show for Colorado Springs.
Yeah, they definitely have the individuals. However, they haven't been able to put it together in Alan Koch's first year in charge of Colorado Springs. They're fighting for their lives tonight, and they need a win to stay alive in the playoff hunt. So they're going to come out aggressive, come out with a lot of energy, and tonight should be a good one.
A win or a result just to stay mathematically part of the picture. We are underway tonight from Southwest University Park. Locomotive FC can clinch a playoff berth with a win, and any loss of points by Real Monarchs SLC as they take on Timbers 2 in Utah. But right off the bat, here comes Labisi, and it'll be off and over the back line for a goal kick. Solid work by Macaulay King, gets the deflection. Playing out of the back, Mishak Jerome, line-splitting pass and drawing the contact is El Paso's Dylan Mirris. And what a threat Mirris has been. Free kicks, right place, right time, engineering all sorts of devastation for opposing defenses. Quite the deliverer of the ball in set pieces.
He's definitely done a really good job coming in on the first year. Obviously not under normal circumstances, but been able to get 3 goals, standing on 3 assists over the course of the season so far. So he's definitely shown his worth and shown what he's capable of in this odd year that 2020 has been.
Christian Valesky does a nice job winning the ball back. But it'll roll into touch for Locomotive FC. Around 1,500 fans allowed into Southwest University Park for Noche de Locos on this 16 de septiembre. A very happy Mexican Independence Day to those celebrating. to that end, Locomotive FC with Eder Borelli on the field, playing along the wing. And up top, our first look as a starter, Poliandro Carrico, the Brazilian. All-time leading scorer for Locomotive FC's sister squad. And FC Juarez Bravo, 73 goals in 102 games.
He's definitely one that the fans have gotten to see glimpses of. They get really excited when he's gotten a chance to step on the field. So we get to see him for the first time as a starter tonight. I'm sure he's excited. He's ready to possibly get on the score sheet, and the fans are excited to see him in the starting lineup tonight.
Rolled up on King's hand, so the free kick coming for Switchbacks FC. And back to take it will be Aiden Daniels. Homegrown contract with Toronto FC. Played with Dynamo in Houston. And in something of a dangerous area, but on that was Mishak Jerome.
That's well defended by the Locomotive.
Andre Lewis nowhere to go.
A really good job from Dylan Mirris, Ras.
Here is Lewis, and it'll be a free kick for Locomotive FC as Ryan takes a tumble. Let's take a look at our Team Casa keys to the game, brought to you by Casa Ford, Casa Nissan, and Casa Kia. Mike?
For me, it's a defensive organization for the Locomotive. When you have four guys who are not regular starters in Borelli, Said Robinson, Chapa Herrera, and Eder, and Carrillos, in the starting lineup, how organized and how familiar are they playing with the starters is going to be key in this game. You know, to help with that, you got to rely on your veterans a little bit. And they get some help in veteran leadership, not only in the defensive work to make sure they're organized, but also in dealing with the pressure of a game that could possibly clinch you a playoff spot. So can the veterans step up and help lead this charge? And the last one is, can they put together a 90-minute performance? We haven't seen that yet from El Paso in a couple of games. Last time Colorado was here, they were able to get 2 late goals. We saw them a couple of weeks go down 4-0 and then get 4 goals in the second half against Austin Bowes. So can Locomotive put together a full 90-minute performance tonight?
They can score goals in bunches, and they proved that their last time in El Paso, a couple of late goals. Both scored by Ubaldo Luna, who came in as a second-half substitute. Let's take a look at the referees tonight. Marco Vega gets the nod. He's in the middle. Assistant referee Manuel Vargas, Chris Canales, and Cristian Campo, our 4th official tonight on this Noche de Loco. Said Robinson, the former Switchbacks player, loses it out of play. Certainly, he wants the opportunity to prove something against his old squad.
I'm sure he still has some buddies on the team. You've got Jordan Burt, who's been a mainstay in the Colorado Switchbacks organization for a few years. So Said Robinson definitely has some ex-teammates that is a challenge to go up against those guys.
There are a few. Jordan Burt, obviously chief among those. What a servant to the Switchbacks FC organization he is. But only 6 returning players from 2019 for Alan Koch's squad. Alan Koch, certainly USL Championship bona fides. Let's take a look at the Texas Tech Health Report. And the notable absence, once again, Chiro Ntoko, the man in the middle, along with Nick Ross. The Scotsman, recovering from a knee injury. This one will bounce nicely. Andre Lewis has his pocket picked, and well done by Chaparrera. A little behind Carrico. Brazilian does well to get the ball up. Lubisi, pardon me. Lewis fighting for that, but he's tripped up.
And that's a foul that Coach Mark Lowry will accept. Recognizing that they've just lost the ball, you see 3 players immediately swarm Andre Lewis and try to recover that ball. I don't think that's a foul. The referee, I ever thought it was, but Coach Mark Lowry will be pleased with the effort and their ability to counter press quickly and try to win back possession.
Eder Borelli committing the harm. Here's Rabbayon playing once again on the right side of midfield. Coleman. Borelli trying to get something working. Carrico, nice ball in. And a great piece of work by Sean Melvin as he just gets it off the feet of Dylan Mirris.
Really good vision from Carrillo there, picking his head up, recognizing the run from Dylan Mirris. Just put a little bit too much on it, and Sean Melvin does well to come out and smother it. A great ball from Carrillo. Getting a lot of really good touches early in this game, getting himself into a good rhythm. That's exactly what you want in your first start.
Melvin, the 6'4" Canadian, hailing from Victoria, British Columbia. Here's Locomotive FC up the right wing side. Lifted in, comes to Herrera. Herrera trying to curl one and off the crossbar and out. Nice thought by Chaparrera, who had all the time in the world to set that up as it bounced right to him.
That's a great run from Saeed Robinson on the far right side. Getting to the end line, picking his head up, looking for Carrillo, but not able to find him, and it falls to the feet of Chaparrera, and all he's looking to do is just bend it towards the back post here, just get a little bit too much height on it, not able to get it down quick enough, and it goes out for a goal kick. But a really good opportunity for the Locomotive.
Great work by Herrera, the young man who showed up in an open tryout and never left. El Paso, born and bred. Off the top netting, actually. Didn't make the crossbar, but Locomotive FC continuing its winning ways, or trying to this evening. 3 straight matches with a late match winner. And for Locomotive FC, 4 of 6 matches with game-winning goals scored after the 80th minute. They've been the clutch, if not comeback kids this season, Michael.
Yeah, they've done well to dig in deep late in games to find that extra gear and get some goals. You know, Coach Mark Lowry talked about it a few weeks ago, how important it was that they were able to get fans back in the stadium and how much of an extra boost that gives them. And you've seen it over the last couple of games, just that extra gear, that extra boost that they get to find goals late in games.
Kettera patient. Noche de Locos jerseys. It's the second Noche de Locos match El Paso has played in consecutive seasons, with a little Serape stripe. El Paso on the verge of a playoff berth based on all of that great work. Let's go downstairs to the third member of our team, Tanya Dominguez. Tanya.
Michael, you guys mentioned this earlier, but tonight's match has huge implications for playoffs. Now, El Paso clinches the playoffs with a win tonight, or a Real Monarchs loss or a draw. And a win could mean that Locomotive would be at the top of Group C, and it could put them in the driver's seat to host a match here in El Paso. Now, obviously, that would be massive. And And head coach Mark Lowry has mentioned that right now he's not too worried about the standings just yet, as he and his team have been focusing on the match in front of them, taking it day by day. And Lowry did say that if you take care of business with your opponent, then the standings are going to take care of themselves. And that has proved to be true. It's been a strategy that has worked for the Locos so far. With only 4 matches left on the schedule, El Paso is in prime position to make the playoffs in their first 2 seasons. Now, that's a good track record for the Locomotive, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. And I love the hairpiece. Daniel Dominguez. Quick restart. And out of the back. Too quick. Trying to engineer something. Richie Ryan. Kalman as well. And way out up top, Rabbayon. Too fast for Marco Vega's tastes. Bounces nicely, Rabbayon. Herrera. Borelli. Coleman. Maka King sporting a fresh new do. Trying to get it up to Robinson, but well contested by Aiden Daniels.
And I know we said one of the keys for the Locomotive was going to be their defensive organization. However, with how well they've held onto the ball so far, they've had to do very little defending. It's been all Colorado Springs trying to defend the Locomotives and their movement, their rotation of players. And they've had trouble with this so far in the first 14 minutes of this game.
You saw Aiden Daniels there, 3 goals and an assist for the man from Scarborough, Ontario. Nice ball out of the back again. Up front, Mirris trying to get on it. Cleared by Switchbacks FC, but we are not seeing what I think Alan Koch would like to see, and that is possessing the ball. You just pointed it out. Locomotive have done very well. Spraying the ball around the field.
Colorado's they've done very well to stay organized and try to keep the game in front of them. However, they've also almost gotten caught a couple of times with the ball over the top.
Ishak Jerome. Speaking of, Burt heads it out of danger with Borelli lurking. Alan Koch, USL Championship Coach of the Year in 2018 with FC Cincinnati. Took them into Major League Soccer before his dismissal. Latter stages of their first season in MLS. Kalman on loan from Minnesota United. There's Robinson taken down. Let's take a look at Southwest University player profile of Brian Rabbayon. We talked about a lot of Locomotive's positive play. Here's a guy who's moved up from right back and found a place in the midfield. And of course scored that amazing winner against Real Monarchs. Paid the price for it. Let's take a look at that hard tackle right now. There's the free kick coming for Colorado Springs. And Borelli a little late, in the opinion of Marco Vega.
And Kurimoto just doing a really good job recognizing that the tackle's coming, just getting his foot.
Herrera taken down.
And you see Chapa Herrera with the veteran move, recognizing he's surrounded, taking a few notes from Kurimoto a few moments ago. Just invite the tackle, invite the pressure, feel the contact, and go down.
He gets it from Lubisi. Robinson. Maka King trying to see it through. Lubisi back with it. Rabbayon to Chapa Herrera. Nice ball. Carrico's not going to be there in time. And Melvin to pick it up.
You've got to love the activeness of the Locomotive, especially when they lose the ball. They're very good at reacting quickly after losing possession and recovering it quickly, recovering it in really dangerous areas.
Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. Select, the official ball supplier of USL Championship and many of the elite leagues throughout Europe. For the latest Select products and special offers, visit selectsportamerica.com. Quickly to Borelli, has found himself used quite often on that left wing. Solid effort here by Argueta. Out along the left wing side, they are looking in the middle, looking far post for Valesky. Cross, not what Servos, I think, wanted to do with it. Joan Servos with their first visit here in August the 8th, as a matter of fact, that 4-2 Locomotive win. We got to see Servos. Nice ball looking for Carrico, could not trap it in from the right wing from King, but he will go to the corner. Taken away by Burt. Lewis. Servos. A little slow to Lewis. And that'll deflect out for a throw. But Servos, the member of the Andorran national team. Have you seen any other soccer player who's been a member of the Andorran national team, Michael?
The Honduran national team?
No, Andorran. Andorra, it's a little, I think it's one of those little countries in the Pyrenees Mountains between Spain and France. Somewhere like that. You're gonna like, people are gonna kill me for the geography miss if I didn't get that right, but yes.
I have never heard of Andorra, or did I know that they had a national team?
Here we go, Saeed Robinson. Robinson tries one, lines it up, and it's blasted. Well defended at the last by Kurimoto.
In the last few minutes, we've seen Colorado Switchbacks settled into the game a little bit, start looking to connect some of those passes and play the possession style that they want to play. However, like they've been all year, they're really having trouble creating chances and finding a way to get to goal. The possession is good in the defensive half or defensive third. It's good in the middle third. However, nothing really productive comes out of that possession, and that's got to be a source of frustration for Alan Koch.
Well, you see, with that last pass up the way, Valesky, I think, was expecting something to come at a different time, and he looks a little frustrated because of it. An easy giveaway, and Locomotive FC back with possession. Rabbayon drawing the contact from Kurimoto. Don't miss a minute of the action in 2020. Sign up today. Get alerts all year long following your club on ESPN.com. Search for Locomotive FC, then click the follow button to keep up with the latest news and scores and all the reminders on El Paso's next match. ESPN.com now. Click follow for your club. Borelli. Herrera to Ryan. Sprayed out. Borelli. Crossing, that's dangerous, but headed out of trouble. Just missing Carrico. Bounces. The shot parried away. Carrico had it right there. And the foul committed by Chaperera.
And that's one you would normally expect Carrillo to put into the back of the net. Finding himself with a loose ball. Just him and Sean Melvin standing in front of him. Only thing he has to beat, and hits it right at Sean Melvin. Got to give some credit to Sean Melvin from closing that space in the gap pretty quickly. But I'm sure that's one Carrillo would definitely want back with his experience and how good he is in front of goal.
Certainly Melvin did a good job getting back in time, and here comes Switchbacks FC in the counter, Labisi. Labisi, he's a handful. Kalman's got it, but there's Burt to keep possession. Daniels getting off in the back. Lewis to Labisi. Jordan Burt. The pressure relief valve there for Switchbacks. Valesky still trying to get on the end of something. Ryan. Play on, says the referee, and now he'll blow the whistle. Carrico in a bit of a collision.
And you mentioned Valesky there for a second. The amount of work he's having to do on the defensive end to try to cover Mishak Jerome and Brent Coleman. That's going to wear at his legs. That's going to take away from his ability to do anything on the offensive end. He's going to have to figure out, they're going to have to find a way to get him some help so he's not having to go back and forth the 30, 40 yards side to side trying to pick up the two center backs of the Locomotive.
Rabbayon. All the way across the field, Borelli. Talk about spreading them out. Nice dummy by Richie Ryan, the veteran Irishman. Maka King into the middle for Mirris. Looking for that ball into Robinson. Sniffed out by Cervos. But off of him for a throw.
And again, the reaction off of the loss of possession from Brian Rabbayon, from Dylan Mirris. It's immediate and it's very effective. They win the ball back in the attacking third.
Borelli taken down as Carrijo wants a penalty, won't get one. A foul going the other way. Labisi's taken down. On the road, can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC, North America's only 24/7 source of soccer radio, featuring Ray Hudson, Tony Meola, Rodney Marsh. Fans of the USL can also now listen to the best matches of the week, along with action from Major League Soccer, the Premier League, UEFA Champions League as well. Sirius XM FC, channel 157 on your Sirius XM radio, and the Sirius XM app. Too far. Sent in by Burt. Gives a little sorry to Andre Lewis, and the goal kick to Logan Ketterer. Ketterer with 4 clean sheets. I think that's something that Mark Lowry would like to see happen again tonight. Touch for Switchbacks FC. Burt wins the throw-in off Herrera, and they'll go backward this time. Lewis still trying to pry open that door, but Locomotive FC doing an excellent job defensively. Well won by Rabbayon. What a takeaway on Daniels. Will be called for the foul in retaliation and draws the physical yellow card. That's just frustration.
And that's well defended from Brian Rabbayon. Working back, standing Aiden Daniels up, recognizing how dangerous of a player he is. Taking the ball from him and then drawing the foul and the yellow card on Aiden Daniels.
All the frustration for the 21-year-old from Scarborough, Ontario. Brian Rabbayon. from his knees along the touchline. Good to see he's none the worse for wear. Always seems to take the majority of the contact from the opposition. But quite the flair for the Colombiano. Pass behind Burt. Morimoto. Stick around because we've got a special treat for you coming in our hydration break. Throw in coming for Locomotive. Of course, the special treat for the players in the field would probably be the water. But we've got something for you here in the broadcast. Locomotive fans are, well, you're going to love it and hate it both, I can tell you that. Carrico, Saeed Robinson bouncing around. Valesky, fouled by Mishak Jerome. Colorado Springs wants to go quickly, but that's a veteran move. Rabbayon, Mirris standing in front of the ball.
And the game has gotten a little chippy over the last couple of minutes now. Not sure if that has anything to do with fatigue and players really looking for that water break. Both groups definitely need to settle down a little bit and regain rhythm.
Goal kick, an opportunity for Locomotive to do exactly that, playing out of the back. Here's Kalman. It's away from Chaparrera, a bit controlled by Argueta. Lewis. And here they come. Burt. Back to Lewis and Burt. Put into a spot. Chaparrera thought he drew the foul. Play on. Lewis. Lewis, the nice chip, far post, and it's over Valesky's head. Frustration continues to show. But it takes a hop, and it'll be out for a Locomotive throw. And now, I believe we have our Hydro Flask hydration break. Or do we? Well, Richie Ryan, the team captain, wearing the armband tonight with Marco Vega, and it is our Hydro Flask hydration break. And as the teams head to their respective sides on this Noche de Locos night, we are pleased to welcome in the team captain himself, Chiro Ntoko.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Chiro, first of all, thank you for joining us. We are all very, very happy to have you with us. Sad, though, that you can't be on the field. Bring us up to date and tell us your situation a little bit.
So my situation is like, I torn my ACL and my meniscus. So now, the time for me is to rest and to wait, into the doctor let me know, the date for the surgery. So right now, I'm just here, sharing, for the team and do my part, outside, the team to help the guys, to support them and to be there, if they need anything.
Obviously, we're sorry to hear about your injury. It's not one as a former player that you want to hear about. However, what has been the support from your teammates? What has that support been like for you?
I mean, the support is amazing because I see, the guys every day and I see them more, than I see my family. So for me, to have, the support, from the guys is something, huge, because mentally, for an athlete to get injury is very tough. And this injury is very, very tough. So to have them, supporting me, to have them, willing, to come to my place, to help me, doing, the grocery is something, is very touching, So I'm very happy, to be part, from this team.
Well, we know you guys are quite the family on the field as well as off. We saw after the New Mexico win, the guys FaceTimed you while they celebrated in the locker room. How cool is that to see?
Yeah, it was cool because I wasn't, expecting them, to call me. And I was watching, the game, at home because I couldn't really move because I had, some pain, on my knee. So receiving, the call from them was very, very surprising, and I was very happy.
against San Antonio, all the players warmed up with the number 3 on their warm-up kits. What was that like, seeing the players wear your number and show all that kind of respect and love for you?
I mean, again, like we said, we are a family, and to be part, from the team and to see, the guys, wearing, my number during, the warm-up, again, was something, like give me, like more strength and more willing, to work hard, to come back on the field. So for them, to wear, my number, it was very a huge thanks, for my part to them. Yeah.
That's outstanding, and we know that obviously on this Noche de Locos, the man that Eighth Notch loves to sing is very local. Chiro and Toko joining us and you. Of course, with the ACL injury, your season is done, but lots of reason to wait for you to be back on the field soon enough for Locomotive FC, and I know that your recovery, you've already begun it, haven't you? And what can we look forward to, and what are kind of the timelines you're hearing?
So yeah, like you said, I already, had ACL surgery 9 years ago. So I know what to expect. I know, the process is going to be long. The only thing, I need to do is to be calm, and to be patient, with myself. Because for an athlete, you always want, to rush things, but now, I just need, to be patient, to do, the right thing, to follow, the instruction from the physios, from the doctors, and everything will be fine. And hopefully, and I pray God, to help me. Between 6-8 months, I will be back, on the field.
Obviously, looking at this game and recognizing the importance of this win to continue the streak that you guys are on. What are you seeing from the group out there right now? What is some positives and some things that Coach Mark Lowry's addressed to the team during the water break?
Yes, I think they didn't. Colorado, they didn't really have chances to score a goal. We had one with Carrico, but the goalkeeper has a good save. For me, we control the game without having that many action to score goal, but we managed the game, and I'm sure the coach say to the guy to keep going like this and to push more and to play more higher and to be more confident with the ball. And I'm pretty sure if we keep playing like this and we give more intensity, we're gonna win that game.
Well, thanks again, Chiro, for joining us. We wish you the best in your recovery, and we know you're going to be back stronger than ever from this. Thank you so much, and that is, it's really wonderful to see you up here with us.
Thank you. It was my pleasure.
Yeah, I really appreciate you coming on. Obviously, love seeing you around training, having chats with you. I'm sure that the team is missing having your leadership and your voice out there, and we definitely are missing seeing you out there and leading the group. So, a speedy recovery, but want to say again, thanks for coming on and just having a quick chat with us.
Yes, thank you for your words, Michael. I'll be good. Thank you, Duke. So hopefully I'll see you guys soon on the field. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Chiro.
Thank you, Chiro. And a wonderful write-up on Captain Chiro Intoko on the Locomotive website. You can find that on the El Paso Locomotive FC app as well. Scroll down a bit to the match day program and see it there. Again, a wonderful thing to see him. Sad that it has to be here in the press box with us, Michael.
Yeah, he's definitely his leadership. We talk about how important to have a leader in a game like this. When you're on the cusp of securing your second playoff berth. You're on the cusp of possibly eliminating another team. You want to continue your winning streak. You want to continue the form that the team has been, that the team has had at home, and to not have a leader like Chiro is definitely difficult for the team. However, his presence is still felt in the locker room, and you see that with the players wearing his number and warming up with the 3 on their backs.
Meanwhile, Chaparrera has been doing some work just outside of the 18 for Switchbacks FC. Bolelli trying to cross it to the far post, nobody in blue on the other side of it. And Switchbacks puts it back into play, but here comes Locomotive FC again. Play on. Labisi taken down by Ryan. Herrera, Borelli. This time, Labisi does draw the foul.
And 38 minutes into this game, 37, almost 38 minutes into this game now. You know, we really haven't seen any real chances from either team. You know, Chiro talked about it a little bit. You know, even though the Locomotives, you know, dominate the ball and had the better run of possession, no real chances were created from it. And I'm sure that's something that Coach Mark Lowry is going to look to address at halftime. That's definitely been, you know, a problem and an area of concern for Colorado Springs all year. You know, they've only scored 7 goals in the 11 games, and Coach Alan Koch has got to be over there just racking his brain, is trying to figure out a way to create chances and to get an Aiden Daniels, a George Labisi opportunities closer to goal.
How do you think Locomotive FC is done without the irrepressible presence of Omar Salgado, who I think his work on that left wing played a big part, at least in winning New Mexico and San Antonio games. He has just been a physical beast on that wing.
Yeah, you're 100% right about that. For me, the last 3 games have probably been the best performance that he's put in a Locomotive shirt. His performance against RSL, then followed up with the performance against New Mexico United, and then the one last week, or last Saturday I should say, against San Antonio, to me has been the best 3 performance for Omar Salgado in a Locomotive shirt. His ability to take players on, his size, his pace, he's a handful.
It's a ball out of the back. Coleman, Saeed Robinson's going to get on the end of it. Robinson looking to cross. Good recovery by Burt against his old teammate.
And I know we talked about Colorado's inability to put the ball in the back of the net, but they've also struggled to keep teams from scoring. In 11 games, they've only had 2 shutouts. They've given up a total of 22 goals over 11 games. That's an area, and we see it right there in that one moment, why they've struggled on the defensive end. There's no reason why a player should be able to run across the back line uncontested and receive a ball that's played 50 yards away. That's just a lack of focus, a lack of communication from the back line of Colorado Springs.
And Coleman, great vision. How well has he worked his way into Mark Lowry's system? Because that looked like a system pass to me.
Yeah, he's definitely fit in and adjusted well to what Coach Mark Lowry wants. You know, I remember having a conversation with Mark Lowry early last year in the inaugural season, and he just talked about how, you know, the one thing that he wants is to play a style, and the way he wants to play is a way that most players want to be a part of. And you see that in Brent Coleman and how he's come in and fit in really easily, because most players want to play the possession style, really want to dominate the game on both sides of the ball.
Now, Locomotive FC certainly doing that here. Hard foul on Richie Ryan. Marco Vega, the referee, waiting to see how advantage went. The veteran Irishman. Just held his ground, and Burt never was able to control things.
Yeah, unintentional foul by Jordan Burt. You know, just loses his footing a little bit. And that's an odd one.
Yeah.
Going back to the old drop ball rule, where you play it back to the other team. Usually you just see the team that's supposed to have possession just get the ball from the referee.
Well, it's interesting because Vega waited. Obviously, Seeing how possession went, playing advantage. There's another one in midfield. Argueta going against Carrico. And down again is Richie Ryan. Let's take a look at this.
I'm not sure what it is, but the over 34.
Argueta gets a piece of Carrico and then apparently got Ryan as well.
I'm looking over on the sideline to the Locomotive bench to see if Yuma is down as well. It looks like the older veteran players of the Locomotive are all going down at the hands of Argueta. He definitely gets the ball on the tackle with Carrillo and definitely doesn't even look to challenge for the header on Richie Ryan. And he's definitely feeling that, gets undercut.
Once again, sliding in Argueta definitely does get a piece of the ball, but a little hip check on Ryan. As you pointed out, here's a guy who played the entirety of a second half with a broken limb last year, broken bone in his foot. But it still doesn't mean that when you're 35 years old and you go down to the field that you're going to spring right back up. Borelli. Chapa. Mirris trying to slide his way into some open space, cannot. But here is Jerome. Borelli has been quite the option out of that far left wing. As we edge toward stoppage time here at Southwest University Park. Good pass up front. Mirris deflected off Carrico. Mirris wanted that. Switchbacks will spray it out. That is a throw-in coming for El Paso. More collisions behind the play. Maka King is down.
It just looks like on the tackle to clear the ball, he gets taken out with.
That's Daniels.
It looked like Maka King was the one that committed the foul. However, he's the one that stayed down longer and really
took the brunt of it. But there you see, yep, he kind of got stuck in a little bit and run over by Aiden Daniels. So free kick to Switchbacks FC. Burt. Lewis. Lots of work churning out of that right wing. Not a whole lot in the middle, but trying his luck is Labisi. Deflected back out. 2 minutes of Jarrito stoppage time coming for you. Jordan Burt. Kurimoto. Borelli will nod it into touch. Good bit of possession for Colorado Springs. Great pass by Burt Volesky. Volesky's going to get it back. Can't keep a hold. Rabbayon, Mirris, and out. Borelli. Looking for some help. Great patience by the veteran Brazilian. All the way across the field to Maka King. Locomotive FC averts disaster. Christian Volesky's got to be the most frustrated man on the pitch right now.
Really haven't called his name much in this first half. He's gotten maybe 4 touches over the course of the half. And for a center forward, yes, there's some center forward who are okay with not getting touches. Who are, poachers and just waiting for the right moments to get into the box. But it's still frustrating.
King around his man, the cross lifted wide. Kurimoto. Throw in coming for El Paso. The final seconds of our first half. Jarrito stoppage time almost up. Rabbayon. Both teams still looking to unlock the door. Borelli, long cross in. Straight it comes to Melvin. And that is the end of our first half. 0-0 here in El Paso, Texas, as Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC playing for its playoff life tonight. They've got to get at least a result to stay mathematically in the picture. Locomotive FC would like the full 3 points and a playoff berth, thank you. 0-0 at the half, though. And on Noche de Locos, this 16 de septiembre, on this 16th of September evening, 0-0 Locomotive.
Show your home some love with the GECU Home Improvement Loan and get a $100 gift card. Apply now.
At Casa Nissan, we want you to drive happy. So we're going to put a smile on your face with big savings and a great selection.
With our discounts, you can keep your cash in hand and drive away with a mind-blowing deal on Nissan cars, trucks, and SUVs.
During Nissan Truck Month, you can own a 2019 Titan for only $31,999 or get 0% financing for 72 months on most new Nissans. So come see us and get happy at Casa Nissan, where our casa es su casa. Yeah!
It's now time for the GECU halftime show.
Welcome to the GECU halftime show. The score at half is El Paso Locomotive 0, Colorado Springs 0. At this time, we want to recognize a couple of special people. First, we have Aussie's Pal of the Match, presented by GECU. A big shout out to Juan Pablo. He's a member of Aussie's Kids Club and loves to play soccer and also playing with his friends and swimming. He loves to cheer for the locals, especially his favorite player, Andrew Fox. Juan Pablo loves Aussie because he's silly, and when he grows up, he wants to be a zookeeper, and he wants to take care of all the animals at the zoo. Once again, a big shout out to Juan Pablo, Aussie's Pal of the Match. And now we also want to recognize Kelly Reed. Kelly is an honoree in tonight's Hospital of Province Employee Highlight. She's a registered nurse at the Hospital of Province East Campus Telemetry Unit. Kelly is an enthusiastic spirit that is easy to see in her approach to her patient care. As a registered nurse for the COVID-19 patients, Kelly reflected on the impact of her roles and has the following to say: "I'm only a human contact they have for a couple of days. You really get to know them, and you hear about the biggest fear and worry. Kelly works tirelessly to not only care for patients, but provide reassurance and comfort. She credits having a solid work team as something that helps her stay motivated. A big thank you to Kelly for all you do to take care of your patients, and a thank you to all healthcare professionals out there." And the score at halftime again, it's El Paso Locomotive 0, Colorado Springs 0. Your GECU halftime show will continue after this message.
The town. A world-class city where it's not just about where you're going, but it's also where you come from. See, here, there's always room at the top. Where sky's the limit, but roots help keep you grounded. And this is town business. If you know, you know. Some might say it's rough around the edges, but we all know that the flavors are in the margins. It's a family affair out here. It's all eyes on we. Hold it down for the people holding you up. These things matter to us.
It is let's go Oakland over and over and over again, where East Oakland and West Oakland meet.
Show the town love, and the town will love you back. Oakland, forever.
The United Soccer League and its 47th championship in League One clubs stand united in support of diversity, inclusivity, equality, and compassion. Together, we can make a difference. Together, we can create change. Together, we are united against racism.
Nil-nil here at the half in El Paso, Texas. Locomotive FC, Switchbacks FC in a battle for playoff position for Locomotive FC, a battle for Switchbacks FC's playoffs lives. As we take a look at the Group C standings, with a win tonight, with a full 3 points, Locomotive FC would move to the top of Group C. This is the game in hand that they have on New Mexico United. They're playing it right now. With the victory, Locomotive FC would move to the top. Rail Monarchs SLC, you see them in third. Tonight, in about just a few minutes, they're about ready to kick in Salt Lake City, Utah versus Portland Timbers 2. If Rail Monarchs SLC gives up any points, if they draw, especially if they lose, and Locomotive FC wins, Locomotive FC secures a playoff berth in the postseason. Switchbacks FC, as you see down there with 8 points, they've got to have the 3 points tonight and then win out to have any chance of staying alive in Group C standings. And once again, New Mexico United idle this evening. This is the game in hand that Locomotive FC has, but everybody else in Group C in action versus somebody this evening. The score at the half, El Paso Locomotive FC 0, Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC 0. The GECU halftime show continues after the break.
Show your home some love with the GECU Home Improvement Loan and get a $100 gift card. Apply now.
Southwest Chiropractic, serving El Paso area and relieving pain for more than 20 years. Not only do we treat auto, sports, and work-related injuries, but we also treat scoliosis, sciatica, back pain, disc injuries, chronic pain treatment, and we even manage stress. At Southwest Chiropractic, our patients are seen the same day. We provide gentle and effective care, and we accept most insurances. Schedule your appointment today and let us relieve your pain. With 3 convenient locations in El Paso, Southwest Chiropractic. Your health is our well-being. Call us today, 915-581-9619.
If you have a passion for the healthcare industry and want to be part of the solution, then start today. At Southwest University, we have designed high-quality educational careers, helping you become a healthcare professional in as little as 9 months. Earn a degree as a surgical technician, sonographer, or a registered nurse in less than 2 years. Southwest University is El Paso's #1 allied health school. Start your career with online classes today. For more information, visit us now at southwestuniversity.edu. Southwest University makes you happen.
Welcome back here to Southwest University Park, 0-0 in downtown El Paso. Locomotive FC, Switchbacks FC are scoreless as we take a look at team news. Duke Keith Michael Balogun with you. And congratulations to Andrew Fox. Helped shut down Solignac and Parado. Won 9 of 12 duels in that win over San Antonio. Previously undefeated San Antonio FC. 38 of 49 passing. 3rd consecutive week with a Locomotive FC player receiving honors. Brian Rabbayon and Dylan Mirris preceded him, and definitely Foxy had a good game, Michael.
Yeah, he's a big part of their back line, and what what they do, and to see him get recognized for his efforts was really something special.
33% off the entire stock of BLK gear for Locomotive FC's team shop. That's 33% you can purchase online at eplocomotivefc.com or in person at both team shops in Southwest University Park. And Oakland Roots officially joins the USL Championship. This is a team making its way up from the NISA. Announced that they're joining from that. They did want USL Championship soccer to begin with. Of course, somebody else owned the East Bay rights, but they are they're about their roots. This is a team that talked with a lot of movers and shakers in Oakland, people who've been socially active to find out what kind of a club they needed to be. They're going to be a great addition to the championship.
Yeah, definitely. It's nice to see another soccer organization in the Bay Area. Having lived there, having, played for the Glens a little bit, to have another soccer organization in that area is definitely going to be special. There's so much love for the game. There's so many kids and people that love the game in the Bay Area. This is only going to add to that.
One of the most culturally diverse spots in all of the country is, if you've lived in the Bay Area, you know. My son just moved from there, loved the city of Oakland, and got me hooked on that Oaklandish gear. That's some fun stuff, man. That's good quality stuff. Let's take a look at the first half statistics. No goals, but you see Locomotive FC dominating in just about every capacity, including possession and the passing accuracy. They've held Switchbacks FC, normally very, very adept at passing. They're second in the league right now. Locomotive is tied for fourth. And really kind of had their way, but neither team ever able to break through, Mike.
Yeah, and I think that the concern and the more telling stat in that half is the shots on target. Both teams with only one, even though the Locomotive had 5 total shots, only one of them was on target. We saw this a little bit in the game between these two in Colorado Springs a few weeks ago, where the Locomotive went the entire game without any shots. So they're going to have to come out in the second half with a lot more energy and look to create more opportunities and get some shots on target in the second half.
I will say, on that left wing, Eder Borelli has comported himself well. Will there be second half substitutions? Will we see Omar Salgado? We will find out as we come your way with the second half of tonight's thriller. In El Paso, Texas, Locomotive FC 0, Switchbacks FC 0. More after this.
Show your home some love with the GECU Home Improvement Loan and get a $100 gift card. Apply now.
Given the challenges we're facing today, we're seeing patients who are waiting too long to seek care.
By delaying care, you might be jeopardizing your health.
Emergencies can't wait. Don't delay your care.
You may think your chest pain is just heartburn, but it could be more serious. Don't delay.
Don't put yourself or your loved ones at risk. Don't delay.
We are taking extra precautions for your safety. There's no reason to stay away. Don't delay.
All of our emergency rooms throughout El Paso are here to care for you.
Don't delay.
Don't delay.
Don't delay.
At Casa Nissan, we want you to drive happy. So we're going to put a smile on your face with big savings and a great selection.
With our discounts, you can keep your cash in hand and drive away with a mind-blowing deal on Nissan cars, trucks, and SUVs.
During Nissan Truck Month, you can own a 2019 Titan for only $31,999 or get 0% financing for 72 months on most new Nissans. So come see us and get happy at Casa Nissan, where our casa is su casa. Yeah!
Welcome back to downtown El Paso. Locomotive FC, Switchbacks FC, scoreless draw so far. Duke Keith, Michael Balogun with you. We'll be speaking in a little while with our sideline reporter, Tanya Dominguez. But let's take a look first at the first half highlights. There obviously weren't goals to talk about, but Locomotive FC, lots of positive possession. Maka King, beautiful pass up the right wing to Saeed Robinson, the former Switchbacks FC player, sending that one across. Chop Herrera gets an opportunity to set one up, but could not find the frame. Just over the top of the net. Robinson, though, having a pretty good half against his old team, Michael.
Yeah, and it's positive to see Saeed Robinson be that aggressive, have that much energy in this match. He's going to have to do that. He's going to have to bring that in the second half and look to combine a little bit with Dylan Mirris and Maka King on this near left side in the second half. They need more productivity. They need to create a little bit more in the second half, and that's going to be Said Robinson looking to get involved a bit more.
You saw Eder Borelli, who has done a pretty fine job for Locomotive FC on that left wing. Will we see second half substitutions? It seems to me that Borelli's done fine. With the absence of Omar Salgado on this team, despite that, he's had lots of possession, has been very positive, just missing on that pass to Dylan Mirris that did carom to Poliandro Carrico for a shot. But he has really done himself well, I think, working his way into the starting lineup tonight.
Yeah, and he's been solid. I think every player, Said Robinson, Carrillo, Eder Borelli, they've been solid in the first half. However, there's just that lack of game sharpness that they don't have because they're not the regular starters. They don't have a lot of minutes under their belt. So in the second half, I anticipate you'll see an Josue Aron Gomez come into the second half. Maybe an Omar Salgado come in the second half.
Let's go down to Tanya Dominguez. Tanya.
And technical director Mark Lowry. Coach, we saw a different lineup here in the first half. What are some positives that we're seeing?
I mean, we've created some good chances. The intensity's been good. The referee hasn't helped us. There's free kicks and pens out there that he's not calling, which is disappointing, which has obviously helped them a little bit. We've got to keep going. We've got to keep believing. There's goals there for us. We clean up a couple of things and we'll be fine.
So the turnaround is quick this week. Are you looking to potentially use all 5 subs to, give some rest for this coming match?
Maybe we'll see.
Thank you so much, Coach, and best of luck in the second half. Back to you guys.
Tanya Dominguez with us and with you. She has got that wonderful Noche de Locos headgear. She's also in like the full baile folklorico dress as well. There are people going all out for this thing tonight. On 16 de septiembre, celebration of Mexican Independence Day. Back and underway from Southwest University Park, 0-0. A must-win for Switchbacks FC, at least. Needing to get a point to be mathematically in the playoff race. Locomotive FC would love the full 3. And if Real Monarchs SLC drops points against Timbers 2 tonight, and Locomotive FC wins, they've booked a berth into the USL Championship postseason. But here's Aiden Daniels, well dealt with by Said Robinson. Mirris controlling away from Kurimoto. Servos off his chest but couldn't lift that pass. Here's Jordan Bird. Nice sidestep by Lewis. Chaparrera trying to hold off Burt. But Jordan Burt, irrepressible, kind of gets away. Burt ready to go, now Borelli covering and commits the foul. Eder Borelli.
A very smart play from Eder Borelli, recognizing that Jordan Burt is obviously much bigger than he is. Just positioned himself in between the ball and the man, feeling the contact, drawing the foul.
The man from Monterrey, Eder Borelli, 29 years old. Locomotive FC getting a good one from their sister squad, FC Juarez Bravos. Along with Borelli this year, and of course, one of the men you don't see on the field, Josue Aron Gomez, Locomotive FC's leading scorer with 4, plying his trade south of the border for Bravos FC. Richie Ryan taken down by Kurimoto.
And I know Coach Mark Lowry said this wasn't a must-win game. However, he talked about the importance of playing games here at home. They've been in really fine form here at Southwest University Park this year, going 5-1-1. If the goal is to get a home game in the playoff, I anticipate that they'll make the playoffs. If the goal is to get a home game in the playoffs, they're going to have to close the gap on New Mexico United and possibly and overtake New Mexico United for that top spot in Group C. And tonight's a great opportunity to do that. So it's not necessarily a must-win. However, it's an opportunity to close the gap and use that game in hand to earn valuable points.
Gets away from Rabbayon a bit. Talking about the thinking of Mark Lowry, has done such a fine job. Did so well with Jacksonville Armada, starting his career with Orlando City in the U23 Academy. Native of Birmingham, England. There you see Lowry on the sidelines through the haze of the gold and blue smoke pots. With that possession style offense. Locomotive FC, more than one person has said, playing some of the prettiest soccer you'll see in second division. In the second division American game. There's another team that would like to match them, though. Alan Koch, former USL Championship Coach of the Year with FC Cincinnati. Well done by Borelli. Taking a spill as Lewis. And he's still down. And now the stoppage from Marco Vega to go take a look.
A well-timed challenge by Eder Borelli. Looks like Andre Lewis just comes down on his left knee, trying to jump over that tackle. It looks like he's in quite a bit of pain over on that end line.
Borelli just trying to keep position, and Andre Lewis stretching for that. Did well to the man from Monterrey, but it's a Texas Tech nod to the dock with Andrew Peters, the Switchbacks FC trainer, on to take a look. Switchbacks FC ready to make some changes, as you would imagine. Alan Koch knows it's do or die tonight.
With Andre Lewis looking like he might not be able to go, he's been on the ground for quite a while now. Might get to see a Gabe Robinson, who's on loan from Las Vegas Lights.
Big midfielder from Valencia, California, Gabe Robinson. Wearing the number 4 jersey. You see him trailing the gaggle. 25 years old. And certainly one of the leading lights from his time in Las Vegas. Lewis will have to come off the field as Marco Vega puts the ball down for the restart. Right shoulder quite tender. Oh, mercy. Lots of pain. Could that be a dislocation, maybe? Trying to hold that arm down, and does not look like he's going to be back.
With the way he's holding it, looks like he's in quite some pain.
So, Switchbacks FC playing with 10 right now. That's an off-target pass from Maka King. Kurimoto swallows it up. But right back come the Locos. Chaperera trying to control. Borelli will. Mirris, Borelli trying to give and go. Blasted out by Cervos. Kalman. Rabbayon. Borelli, nice cross. Chested down and off for a Chick-fil-A corner kick. Cervos thinking the better of doing anything other than just chesting it out. And it'll be Richie Ryan to take it from the right corner.
And we've seen Eder Borelli serve a couple of balls into the box both times, electing for the back post. And this one earning a corner kick, and we've seen how dangerous the Locomotive have been on set pieces and corner kicks as of late. Will it be Maka King or Brent Coleman at that back post?
Ryan serves it, kind of a low drive, and it's in! Saeed Robinson! How do you do? Short corner. Robinson, right place, right time, free header. 1-0 Locomotive in the 54th minute.
A really good ball from Richie Ryan, whipped into that near post. And all Saeed Robinson had to do was redirect it on frame. The service from Richie Ryan had pace on it, so Saeed Robinson didn't need to generate much pace on the header. All he had to do was redirect it, and he does well to keep it under the crossbar, and it ends up in the back of the net.
Saeed Robinson with a hand on the head. Don't think he wants to do a whole lot of celebrating against his old team. Part of Switchbacks FC for a bit, but gives Locomotive the initial breakthrough. And now Switchbacks have to press forward a little bit. Things have to change from Alan Koch's Switchbacks FC team. The Hospitals of Providence goal scored in the 54th minute by Saeed Robinson, the assist to the Irishman Richie Ryan, who will restart play here.
And right before that corner kick was taken, we saw Uvaldo Luna come into the game for Colorado Springs Switchbacks.
So Luna replacing Andre Lewis, I would assume. It's a low layer of fog from Eighth Notch's smoke pots. What a gorgeous shot. Our Mountain Star Sports Group crew really doing a fine job tonight. So Luna in, and it will be Lewis out. Alan Koch maybe a little sooner than he wanted, but forced his hand with Lewis's injury. And Uvaldo Luna certainly knows how to score against Locomotive FC. He had 2. Those are both of his goals this season, coming in that August 8th match in El Paso.
And this game is definitely not over. We talked about how, yes, the Locomotive have scored quite a few goals as of late in games. But so is Colorado. They know how to come back from being down. Talked a little bit about the 4-2 game here early in the season, with Colorado putting a lot of pressure on the Locomotive late in game and making it really a nervy one for the Locomotive. And then, the 4-4 game against Austin Bold, being down 4-0 at half, working their way back to tie that game up.
What a pass, crossing. Mirris looking for Carrico. And I believe that was Herrera. Just swung it into the corner for Mirris to go get. So certainly Locomotive FC would like to remain, I think, in the front foot.
With 34 plus minutes left in this game, they're definitely going to have to stay on the front foot.
Mirris with a sombrero. How about that in the middle of the field? Robinson couldn't make anything of it. Rubio taken away from him by Chaperera, but the foul is called. But Dylan Mirris, my goodness. Little flash from the Zionsville, Indiana native. Coming to Locomotive FC from the Miami FC. Part of the championship this season, but playing in the NPSL prior. Probably not helping Sean Melvin that there's not a lot of a breeze right now, and the smoke pots, the smoke from the smoke pots not clearing off the pitch tonight. And the physical yellow card issued to Maka King in the 57th minute. Herrera looking for Carrico. Argueta's keeping it out of trouble. Carrico will leave off for his old teammate. Foul, though, on Saeed Robinson. Free kick coming the other way. Servos. Bolesky. One of the few times we've been able to call his name tonight, but he doesn't get far. Locomotive FC doing a very, very good job of starving him of service. Borelli. Carrico and Mirris. Dosido. Locomotive FC putting in some work tonight. Jacques Jerome. Herrera to Borelli. Coleman season opening for Mirris. Locomotive FC content to bide their time. Quite a spell of possession here.
You love the patience and the interchanging of positions.
Carrico up the middle, looking for a space, puts it into space, but Burt, nice recovery. Only so far as Herrera. Springs, Mirris, shot deflected and covered by Melvin. Oh, well timed by Dylan Mirris. What a pass from Herrera.
That's a really good run from Dylan Mirris. Again, that back line of Colorado Springs really struggling to pick up runs from the Locomotive attacking players. And here you see Dylan Mirris get in again, get in behind the back line again. A great timed ball, weighted ball from Chaparrera. Just not able to get enough on it to get it past Sean Melvin.
Burimoto does well to keep it off the feet of Saeed Robinson here. We get an opportunity. We'll take a look at that pass from Chaparrera again. Looking for Dylan Mirris. Worth a second look. Here's a shot wide from well outside Valdoluna. But let's take a look at that pass again. Mirris, kind of a tough angle to solve. Move back to live action. Right into Logan Ketterer. That is as close as Colorado Springs has gotten tonight off of Aiden Daniels.
And as they take that corner kick and get a service into the box, they never really look threatening. They never really look like they're going to score. They only have one player in the box possibly making a run. But no one really challenges Logan Ketterer. The service wasn't anywhere near it where a Colorado Springs switchback player was. Just really struggling in the attacking third with their movements, not dynamic enough. No real idea, no real creativity in the attacking third, even though they have quite a few creative players.
Borelli over the head of Carrico, his old teammate from Bravos. Argueta. Daniels. Switchbacks FC just having a tough time finding their way through in that final third. Passing around the horn, but nothing incisive. Into the middle, into the mix. They'll try one here. Good run by Bolesky. Back it'll come. The shot deflected by Ketterer. Logan Ketterer keeps a hold and gets the bounce as well.
Really good early service from Jordan Burt. Bounces around between Mishak Jerome and Valesky. He's able to recover it. And there again goes Osvaldo Luna in the right place.
Osvaldo Luna. Great work by Valesky, who has been silent all night, but well done by the forward. And the physical yellow card is going to come against Ever Rubio. Coming in the 64th minute. For El Paso, Locomotive FC bringing in Omar Salgado for Poliandro Carrico. So there's the answer to that question.
A very good shit from Carrillo. Not as much service as he would have liked. However, did well to hold the ball up. Kept it simple, and had a couple of moments. You know, think about the through ball he played in to Dylan Mirris. That was just a little too long in the first half, but had a couple of moments. You know, that shows why he's the leading goal scorer for the Bravos.
Indeed, 73 goals in 102 appearances, their all-time leading scorer. And Saeed Robinson coming off in favor of Josue Aron Gomez. So the two forwards out of the game. Starting tonight, Carrijo and Robinson for Salgado and Gomez.
And then those two substitutions should give you an indication of the mindset of Coach Mark Lowry as far as this game is concerned.
Right, no defenders, no defensive midfielders. Yuma's not on. It's Omar Salgado, who's playing in the middle right now. Here's Mirris. Ishak Jerome, Macaulay King. Maka, brought in from Indy 11, and he has started every match since, allowing Mark Lowry to slide Brian Rabbayon up into the left side of that diamond in midfield. Substitution for Switchbacks FC. Mamadi Camara for George Labisi, and Luke Ferreira for Christian Valesky, who has been quite the servant this evening, but just was never able to break in. So the double substitution, Eder Borelli, who remains in.
And Alan Koch is going to be hoping that the substitutions he's just made are able to give his group a boost similar to the game a few weeks ago.
There you saw USL Coach of the Year just 2 seasons ago. Big long ball out of the back, Mishak Jerome. Flag was up, wouldn't have mattered if Salgado had been able to trap it.
And Omar Salgado brings a different threat than Leandro Carrillo. His pace, his ability to get in behind.
Good work by Coleman. That allows Ketterer to cover with Kamara. Ready to poach. Play on. Now a collision in the midfield, and it'll be a foul on Chaperera. Looks like Argueta's the man down, indeed. But a free kick for Switchbacks FC. A goal would do them a world of good. And the man who scored a pair versus Locomotive FC restarts play here, Ubaldo Luna. It's played into space, good touch by Kamara, but nobody in white to receive. Ubaldo Luna played with Tigres in Mexico, also with Atlas. Young man from Channelview, Texas. Locomotive FC. Playing out of the back. Too hard, too fast. Looking out for Salgado. Cervos. Little opening to Daniels. Daniels, good service, far post. Nobody in white nearby. Luna will take it back. Headed out by Coleman. Burt trying to control, but will not. Dangerous, though, taken away Argueta. Burt again. Luna. Those highlighter boots. Ubaldo Luna whips one in. That's a nice thought. But the header goes wide off Cervos and a goal kick.
And you see the connection between Osvaldo Luna and Jordan Burt, giving flashbacks to the game a couple of weeks ago when those two were able to combine and create chances on that far right side. In the last couple of minutes, you've seen the intensity drop a little bit from the Locomotive.
As it did dangerously so on August the 8th. Speaking of Burt, that mustache reminds me of another Burt, Reynolds.
I wonder if that's what he's going for.
Well done by Burt, the man from Elkhart, Indiana. Was around for the inception of Switchbacks FC, and he stayed. Well, they will whistle the foul here. Kurimoto draws the contact from Gomez, such as it was, much to the ire of Eighth Notch. Monarchs scoring against Timbers 2 early on, first half in Salt Lake City. So it's 1-0 to the home side, and that'll be a foul. As Chaparrero returns the favor, Gomez rather, and draws it this time from Rubio. Rabbayon clear sights on the other side of the field here. Nope. Gomez, nice flick to Maka King. Trying to play Gomez into space. Deflection off Cervos. Rabbayon, Maka King. Coleman back into the middle. Good touch by Herrera, but only to Burt. Daniels. As we enter the 73rd minute tonight, Saeed Robinson breaks into the scoring column in the 54th minute against his old team to put Locomotive up 1-0. But here is Cervos. Well met by Maka King.
And as I watch Colorado Springs Switchbacks, I paying a little bit closer attention to Aiden Daniels being their leading goal scorer. For me, plays a bit too deep. With how much quality he has as a player, he's got to find ways to get himself higher up the field.
Oh, just missing. Ubaldo Luna. Trying to curl that one in with the left boot. But gets no curl, or at least not enough.
And even though Aiden Daniels has the most goals for Colorado Switchbacks. Right now, it's Uvaldo Luna who's the more dangerous player of the two. He's playing higher up the field. He's really trying to take on and engage Eder Borelli, whereas Aiden Daniels is receiving the ball further down the field, not really engaging Maka King and not really forcing him to have to do anything. And that's been the difference between both players in this game.
You know, one man who also played on August 8th as a substitution, who is missing tonight, is Austin Dewing. I don't know what his situation is, but he and Uvaldo Luna were something. Out it comes. Salgado into the back corner. Salgado, my, El Paso 2-0.
And that's a really good goal by Omar Salgado. Well-weighted pass from Brian Rabbayon, picking up the loose ball in the midfield, picking his head up and finding Omar Salgado, who really good first touch, composes himself, and just rips it towards that back post. That's something we haven't seen much of him. Getting in those positions a bit last year, either hitting them at the goalkeeper, hitting them over, but this year, talked about him playing the best he's played for the Locomotive over the last 3 games. Now he's able to provide a goal in this game. To me, this is the best we've seen from Omar Salgado in his 2-year tenure here for the Locomotive.
Number 1 draft pick as we head to the Hydro Flask hydration break. Vancouver in 2011, the Super Draft. His second goal for his hometown side tonight. Wear your masks, right? From 8th Notch, yes. Be socially responsible. But here's a look at the Hospitals of Providence goal scored by Omar Salgado. Sean Melvin, you feel for him, just left on an island by that pass from Rabbayon.
And that angle from Omar Salgado is not the easiest to finish from, but he takes it well, keeps it low, hits it at the right time before Sean Melvin is able to get his feet set, and that's how he's able to catch him and score that goal. A really good goal for Omar Salgado. Put himself in a really good spot and being really composed under pressure in the right moment and getting his second goal of the season.
Outstanding work by the native El Pasoan, recent graduate. I believe he just got his master's, and we've got another substitution coming for El Paso. It will be Yuma for Chape Herrera and Andrew Fox for Eder Borelli. And of course, Borelli filling in for Fox's normal left-wing role, doing a fine job tonight, but in the 77th minute, the Englishman on for the Mexican.
And if we look at this substitution from Mark Lowry, bringing on a defensive mid and a left back, a more defensive-minded substitution. So recognizing that 2-0 with less than 13 minutes left in the game, can we secure these 3 points?
Well, Richie Ryan and Yuma, the Irishman and the Spaniard together as that double pivot. Burt trying to get one in. First touches of the night for Andrew Fox, USL Team of the Week. Hospitals of Providence goal in the 74th minute, though, to give Locomotive FC a 2-0 lead off the foot of Omar Salgado. And it's great to see him healthy. Here's a guy at his time with Tigres in Mexico, dealt with a lot of injury issues, as well as his last days with Whitecaps in Vancouver. Just was never able to get untracked. But he has been an absolute force, especially this season for his hometown side.
Absolutely. Obviously, he's not, a young 18, 19-year-old like he was in Vancouver. He's older, he's more mature, so he's probably taking care of his body a little bit better than he did when he was that age. And he's at home. He not saying that he's going home to get a home-cooked meal from his parents regularly, but just the peace that comes with being at home, being surrounded with people that you know that you care about and that care about you. It's different from being away from home, thousands of miles away. So there's no surprise that those things are now transitioning to him being able to stay healthier and possibly play play more regularly than he ever has as a professional, and played, to me, in these last 4 games, play some of his best and most productive soccer for the Locomotive.
Fox in the middle. Gomez knocked around Mirris to Salgado. And here come the Locomotive again. All the way across and snuffed out. Well done, Sean Melvin. Lurking at that back post was Gomez. But Omar Salgado just got his master's degree from Northeastern University. Online classes as well at Northeastern. Here's a guy who's going to wind up with a doctorate before it's all over. And may have designs on going into politics when all is said and done, judging from our Streetcar Summer Soccer Series last year and what he had to say to me.
Yeah, I've heard that. I'm sure with how much he cares about the El Paso community, how many ties he has to this area.
There is a man well placed to make use of that name. Argueta. Bert. Luna trying to get something working. Good give and go. Into the middle, Ferreira. Rolls the shot, parried, and it's into the back of the net. Deflected off the boots of Kamara and in. Switchbacks FC, as they did after the 80th minute on the 8th of August, get one back. Mamadi Kamara.
And again, very similar to the 8th of August, coming down that far right side.
Deflected in by Jerome as well. I don't know if they'll count it as an own goal. More a deflection to me. But it's 2-1. Switchbacks FC having their lead, and I think what might disappoint Mark Lowry the most, the clean sheet is off the books.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're Logan Ketterer, you really haven't been tested much all game. Haven't really had to do much. And just the lack of concentration.
Salgado is loose. Bullet of a cross. High at the box. Rabbayon lifts it up and over.
That's a really good ball back from Omar Salgado. I don't think he was aiming for or looking for Brian Rabbayon at the top of the box. Again, saw flashbacks of New Mexico United and the late goal that Dylan Mirris scored in that game. Very similar to that. Omar Salgado getting to the end line, picking his head up, and just pulling the ball back towards the PK spot. In that game, he was able to find Dylan Mirris. In this game, no one really there, ending up with Brian Rabbayon at the top of the box, and the chance gets away from him.
Mirris, Gomez up off the heel, so no chance to really run at that back line. Mirris fancied his chances there, trying to get it back. Didn't quite work. Argueta, Cerbos. To his left is Daniels. To your right, for the leading goal scorer, he is way deep. Daniels with it now, squares for the shot, parried away by Ketterer. Chides his back line, but that's the best we've seen from Aiden Daniels tonight.
I think he heard us say he's playing too deep. He's not creating enough for Colorado Switchbacks. Says, I'll show you guys.
Scarborough Fair. Chick-fil-A corner coming. It'll be Ferreira. Tries to go near post, but Maka King on it. Logan Ketterer called upon. As you say, when you don't face a lot, sometimes you have to throw that switch in a hurry. Well done here. Sliding across and lifted back by Coleman. My goodness. Off the foot of Ferreira. And that was dangerous. Here's Gomez, though, in the counter to Salgado. Salgado to Gomez. Oh, off the back of his foot. I think he thought it was going to be deflected. It was not. Yuma will be whistled for the foul here as a physical takedown of Argueta. Will earn Yuma the physical yellow card in the 85th.
And we've just had end-to-end action on both sides. Got to talk about the clearance and the last-ditch effort from Brent Coleman to keep the ball from getting to Kamara. That interception might have just saved the Locomotive from, or kept Switchbacks from tying up this game 2-2.
No quit yet, Ubaldo Luna. Alan Koch after that 4-2 loss. Loving how his team responded in the 0-0 draw in Colorado Springs. How about Omar Salgado again? Off to the races. Salgado's going to take it to the byline. Lifts one. Gomez trying to scissor it over to Mirris. Still not out of trouble, but finally controlled. But Koch loving how he felt his team grew from that August 8th 4-2 loss to the August 22nd 0-0 draw. And here they come again, and it'll be another corner, this one off the boots of Maka King. This corner kick coming from Daniels as Ferreira takes his place in the area. Whipped in, straight to Ketterer.
For a player of his quality, he's got to be able to deliver a better ball than that. Got to give it the big players on his team a chance.
Yeah, that one kind of coming in close to the 6 and not to the near post, not to the far post. Luna. Still coming. Kamada. Rolled in. Kurimoto. Back out to Luna. Good work by Fox. Mark Lowry, nervous moments here in the 87th minute. Wants that clock to move now. Give and go. Trying to get it back to Burt, and it's blown up by Yuma. And the foul earned by Richie Ryan.
And Mark Lowry's got to be, like you said, wanting that clock to move a little bit quicker. But Alan Koch has got to be scratching his head on that side for Colorado. It's like, where's this play? Where's this dynamic movement? Where have these combinations been all game? Why do we have to wait to the 80th minute to actually start playing and creating stuff? That's got to be the frustration from Alan Koch. Mark Lowry's got to be thinking, how do we possess the game? How do we possess the ball? And see this game out.
That one will bounce kindly for Gomez. Here's Salgado standing in front of that. Salgado, Mirris waits, and it's deflected up and over. It'll be a Chick-fil-A corner kick. But Servos, good patience for him. Melvin in kind of no man's land. Cervos sees it out over the back line. Aiden Daniels isn't waiting around.
And the Locomotive players acting confused about who's taking this set piece.
Maka King will come over. Dylan Mirris. They'll do a little shuffle short corner. Mirris skips his way through. Mirris fancy footwork. Rabbayon's going to keep a piece. But Ferreira, a little too much, and Yuma will give it a ride. Throw in. Cervos and Rubio. Burt evades Salgado. Long switch to Daniels. Daniels making a move inside. And how about Richie Ryan? Rather, Maka King. It's the haircut that threw me. Half a minute to go in regulation. I'm hearing we'll have 4 minutes of Jarrito stoppage time. Dylan Mirris taking off the ball, play on. Little handshake from Dispe. But if you're someone who bites your nails, this is not the game for you. 4 minutes of Jarrito stoppage time. Cervos. That's off of King. Only so far as Daniels. Luna, offside flag is up. And the last substitution of the evening for Locomotive FC, it'll be Dylan Mirris coming off the field, replaced by Guillermo Diaz. And so how about that? Once again, the El Paso connection. Josue Aron Gomez, who was born in the Sun City. Omar Salgado, #1 draft pick of the Vancouver Whitecaps in 2011. Luis Chaperrera out in the 77th minute, native of El Paso. Kept around with the open tryouts, and on the field now, Guillermo Memo Diaz, New Mexico Player of the Year for the Gadsden Panthers, and quite the high school soccer program in Gadsden, New Mexico. The borderland well represented, and of course, making their way from FC Juarez Bravos, Eder Borelli and Leandro Carrico, who got starts tonight. On the 16 de septiembre, I can't think of a better combination of players.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good to see the local players well represented within this team.
Ferreira, as Kurimoto took that one off of a missed pass by Rabbayon. Lofted back in by Daniels, headed out by Coleman. Diaz. All energy about halfway through Jarrito stoppage time by the unofficial clock. And that's going to be a dangerous direct kick given away by Coleman as he takes down Burnt.
And I don't think Colorado's going to get another clear opportunity in this game if they're going to steal a point. It's got to be off of this set piece. It looks like it's Aiden Daniels standing over it. He doesn't have to fight off George Labisi for this one. So it looks like they're gonna let him do his thing.
Ferreira in there as well, along with Dispe, but yep. Looks like it'll be Daniels. Call it about 22, 23 yards off the end line. Daniels will take a crack. Doesn't make it through the wall. Gomez deflects. And here's Gomez. Good stay-at-home work by Cervos, because it would have been off to the races with three very fast and talented players. Diaz, Salgado, and Gomez. Well, so far, the game-winning goal standing for Salgado as we have reached the 94th minute. Ketterer to put it back into play. We will play on. Here is Gomez. Gomez tries a shot deflected by Rubio, and that will do it. Full 3 points, Locomotive FC.
That's a big win for the Locomotive. That win takes them into first in Group C. That win now puts pressure on New Mexico United to win out in the remaining 4 games of the season. They've taken care of business here at Southwest University Park, getting their 6th win of the season in 8 games, and they've shown that this is really a place that's difficult for teams to come in and get a win.
7th win of the season, their 4th consecutive win, and their last 7 matches have all earned points for Locomotive FC. A huge 2-1 win to go top of Group C, the top of the Group C table, here in front of the hometown faithful tonight. 2-1 Locomotive FC. When we come back, highlights along with our Estrella Jalisco star of the match. That's when we continue. Stick around. Lots to unsort and unpack from this one. 2-1 Locomotive FC for the full 3 points.
Show your home some love with the GECU Home Improvement Loan and get a $100 gift card. Apply now.
Given the challenges we're facing today, we're seeing patients who are waiting too long to seek care.
By delaying care, you might be jeopardizing your health.
Emergencies can't wait. Don't delay your care.
You may think your chest pain is just heartburn, but it could be more serious. Don't delay.
Don't put yourself or your loved ones at risk. Don't delay.
We are taking extra precautions for your safety. There's no reason to stay away. Don't delay.
All of our emergency rooms throughout El Paso are here to care for you.
Don't delay.
Don't delay.
Don't delay.
At Casa Nissan, we want you to drive happy. So we're going to put a smile on your face with big savings and a great selection.
With our discounts, you can keep your cash in hand and drive away with a mind-blowing deal on Nissan cars, trucks, and SUVs.
During Nissan Truck Month, you can own a 2019 Titan for only $31,999 or get 0% financing for 72 months on most new Nissans. So come see us and get happy at Casa Nissan, where our casa es su casa. Yeah!
Welcome back to Southwest University Park. Locomotive FC 2-1 winners over Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC. Duke Keith Michael Balogun and the 3rd member of our team, Tanya Dominguez, downstairs with our Estrella Jalisco. Estrella of the match in just a little bit, but first let's take a look. And I think you might get a clue as to who our Estrella of the match is. Salgado! Omar Salgado, all the way to the far post and blasts it home from the edge of the box. Salgado! Well taken.
And a great goal from Omar Salgado.
Just
getting
great
it out
work.
of his feet from a tight angle and just hitting it before Sean Melvin can get set towards that back post, and there was nothing Sean Melvin could do about that shot and that goal.
Let's go downstairs to Tanya Dominguez. Tanya.
So I'm here with the estrella of the match, Omar Salgado. Omar, you've been so good on that side of the field. Tell me, how do you feel getting that goal, and especially at that angle?
Yeah, it felt good. It felt great. Get that confidence going. We got a good streak going, and the main thing is that we won and that we got those 3 points.
So you mentioned you got a good streak going. Tell me about how the team's been playing. I mean, 7 unbeaten matches and 4 consecutive wins. That's big.
Yeah, it's huge. We're first of our group. It's a big accomplishment for us, and we got to keep going. We got to keep going on this streak and finish the season with 11 games unbeaten.
So tonight's a very special night here in the Borderland, and for us it's Noche de Locos, and there's a lot of locals here in the building. Do you have any words for them?
Thank you for coming. It means a lot. We missed you. It was really sad not seeing fans here, so it's awesome to have you guys here and supporting us every game.
Thank you so much, Omar. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Tanya. And Noche de Loco, appropriate that it goes to a local loco as we take a look at the highlights here of Salgado's goal. Boy, he let that fly from just a step or two inside the 18. Just lashed it to the far post.
Yeah, and I know we said it already that this has probably been his best 4 games or his best run of games with the Locomotive. I think he's really found himself, a home on that left side for the Locomotive. At times he's been asked to play up top, where he's making runs on the right side, not on his favored foot, but when he gets on that left side on his favored left foot and he's able to run at defenders, he's a handful to have to deal with. So to see him, really start to use his tools, his gifts, to his advantage and really be a handful and create havoc for defenses all over the Western Conference. It's been great to see. I'm sure he's excited and he's really enjoying the run of form that he's in right now.
Well, let's take a look at our GECU save of the match from Logan Ketterer. He wasn't called upon often, but he was called upon here off of Aiden Daniels.
And what a great save from Logan Ketterer. A quick turn from Aiden Daniels. He doesn't give Logan Ketterer much time to get set as he's moving back across. He's moving left to right as the ball gets swung to Aiden Daniels. And then that last skip off the shot that the ball takes really makes it hard for goalkeepers. But to be able to keep his concentration, not having seen much action all over throughout the entire match, and to be able to get his hands and get enough off on that ball to force a corner kick was absolutely terrific. A really good save from Logan Ketterer.
Let's do the physical play of the game and take a look at what we have here. FC Cincinnati. Eder Bonelli. Well done by Bonelli. Great takeaway, just slid in, and it wasn't a Yuma hip check. But how well do you think Eder Bonelli played in his first start? Actually, his first action in a Locomotive uniform.
Yeah, first that tackle was a well-timed tackle. Really just cutting off the angle for Andre Lewis. You hate to see Andre Lewis get hurt on that play and possibly have something happen to his shoulder. However, a clean tackle from Eder Bonelli, getting all ball and really overall playing a solid match. Probably would have liked to get involved a bit more going forward. However, for his first action in the team, a very, very good match for Eder Bonelli, one that he can look back on, be happy about, and look to build on. And for Coach Mark Lowry to know you have a natural lefty option, to replace Andrew Fox in the case that you do need a replacement for Andrew Fox, to be able to see Eder Bonelli in a game like this and to see him play well, it's got to be pleasing for Coach Mark Lowry to know he has options at that left back position.
Now we take a look at the full match stats brought to you by the Hospitals of Providence tonight. A 2-1 Locomotive FC win. The flags of the nations represented by Locomotive FC players flying in the background here in downtown El Paso. The most important stat right up at the top. The full 3 points gives Locomotive FC the Group C lead over New Mexico United, 24 points to United's 23. This was the game in hand El Paso had And the total shots, look at that. It was a dominant effort. Switchbacks FC, 1 shot on target tonight, but 11 for Locomotive FC. And, of course, the 1 shot they had, they took it well. And it was a deflection off of Mishak Jerome, but give the goal where the goal is due. Mamadi Kamara coming on in the second half and really making something happen. Block shots. There's an important stat. Switchbacks FC, especially in the final 10 minutes, made it something of a shooting gallery, didn't they, Mike?
Yeah, they definitely came on in that last 10 minutes. The substitutions that Alan Koch made really put some pressure on the back line of the Locomotive. However, we saw the Locomotive really take their chances coming out of the halftime, take their chances, put the game in the way. That last 10 minutes has got to be a bit of a concern for Coach Mark Lowry. It's not only been in this game against Colorado, but it's been in a few games where they've given up goals late. And if they're going to make a run into the playoffs and look to win this, they're going to have to be able to put together full games. That was one of the keys for this game, putting together a 90-minute match. I wouldn't necessarily say they put together a 90-minute match. They dominate for the majority of the game. However, I wouldn't call it a 90-minute performance from this group.
The last clean sheet for Logan Ketterer and Locomotive FC coming, as a matter of fact, in Colorado, or in Colorado Springs against Switchbacks FC on the 22nd of August. That will be something I'm sure Mark Lowry would love to change. 81.4% passing accuracy and, of course, dominant possession. 2-1, the final score this evening. Locomotive FC with goals from Saeed Robinson and Omar Salgado winning it and vaulting to the top of the Group C standings. Let's take a look at the Brian Birds' upcoming game for Locomotive FC. It is this Saturday night against Real Monarchs and then against New Mexico United on the 26th of September. Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC in Colorado Springs. That's the makeup game. Switchbacks FC had someone, a protected person inside their organization, test positive for COVID-19, and so their match at Colorado Springs was pushed back to the end of September. And then Locomotive FC wrapping up the regular season that is on the road at Real Monarchs SLC, which at last word was leading tonight. El Paso versus Real Monarchs SLC on Saturday, though, 7:30 p.m., and that is going to be on our El Paso Las Cruces CW as well as ESPN+. El Paso has taken results in the first 2 matches between the 2 squads tonight or this season in 2020. Mike?
Yeah, for me, it's going into the last 4 games of the season with New Mexico United. Now it's about who gets the top spot in Group C. Coach Mark Lowry has talked about how important it is to have home games. You see how well they play here at Southwest University Parks. They've only lost 1 game. They've tied 1, and they've won 6 here at home. So they're very comfortable playing here at home, and now they get to have fans in the stadiums. So for the Locomotive to secure that first spot in Group C is going to be something that they're going to push for. It's no longer just about getting into the playoffs like they did in the first year last year. Coach Mark Lowry talked about it before we had COVID-19 and everything that happened in the reshuffling and the new format with the USL. He talked about wanting to be in the top 4 in the Western Conference. There's no top 4. However, there's a chance for them to get top in their group, and that's something that he's gonna stress with the last 4 games of the season, making sure that they can get home games in the playoffs.
Right, that is the most important thing. Get that one, at least 1 home match in the playoffs, if not more. But we'll see how things go. Locomotive improving to 7-2-3 to 24 points. They go top of the Group C standings. Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC is now officially out of playoff contention. Our final score: Locomotive FC 2, Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC 1. For our sideline reporter Tanya Dominguez, for our executive producer Juan Gutierrez, for my broadcast partner Michael Balagan, 2 goals tonight from Saeed Robinson and Omar Salgado. Locomotive FC getting it done to vault to the top of Group C, 2-1 winners over Switchbacks FC on Noche de Loco. Indeed it was, on a Wednesday in El Paso, Texas. Until Saturday, I'm Duke Keith. So long from El Paso.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.
Tonight's match was brought to you by the Hospitals of Providence, providing safe care 24/7 because emergencies can't wait. Your safe care is our priority. To learn more, visit thehospitalsofprovidence.com.